My friends, this is Dr. B, the best doctor in medicine. Today I want to talk to you about why you need to get completely rid of your corn oil and sunflower oil, right? Corn oil and sunflower oil. And do like me and adopt olive oil, canola oil, and walnut oil. I drink only and I use only walnut oil, olive oil, canola oil. And I have stopped drinking any corn oil, sunflower oil. And I'm going to tell you why. You see, corn oil and sunflower oil are extremely nutritious, right? Huge amount of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, blah, blah, blah. So they are definitely extremely nutritious, right? And I still remember when I was younger, when I was a kid, my entire family members used to have all the time in their kitchen, whether it's to pour into the salad or to cook with, right? They used to use all the time sunflower oil and corn oil, right? Because that were the two most prominent oils that people had access to, that they could buy, right? And as time passed, we just had more different types of oils that came out for the larger population, right? Including, of course, olive oil, canola oil, and of course, walnut oil. The problem with corn oil and sunflower oil is that despite being extremely nutritious, full of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, zinc, manganese, blah, 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 you name it. They have everything that is healthy for you, right? The problem is that they come with too much omega-6 fatty acids and not enough omega-3 fatty acids. You know that in our body, in order to be healthy brain, healthy heart, healthy digestive system, healthy skin, blah, 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 our cells, right, that form our organs and our body, right? They need to have, in order to produce cell membranes and other chemical molecules, they need to have in our diet, a lot of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, right? But we need to eat, ideally, a ratio of 1:1. We need to eat as much omega-3 than we eat omega-6. Both of them are essential nutrients. We need them, right? Even though our body can produce a little bit of them, just not enough for us to be healthy. So we need to supplement omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids in our diet. But the typical Western diet brings us just too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3, right? So despite being healthy oils, right, corn oil and grapes and sunflower oil, they bring you too much, massive amount of omega-6 and not enough omega-3, right? So in our Western diet, where we eat too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3, and we wind up with a ratio of 20:1. In our diet, Western diet, we eat 20 times more omega-6 than we eat omega-3 fatty acids. The ideal ratio, remember I said, should be 1:1. We should eat as much omega-3 than omega-6. But in our Western diet, we eat 20 times more omega-6 than omega-3. And what is the problem when you eat too much omega-6 compared to omega-3 fatty acids? Omega-6 fatty acids are pro-inflammatory, whereas omega-3 fatty acids are anti-inflammatory. So if you eat too much omega-6, you are drinking, you are eating in your food, salad, in your cooking, right? So much omega-6 pro-inflammatory compared to omega-3 anti-inflammatory. And that's one of the main reasons why researchers know that the rates of dementia, vascular inflammation, heart disease, right, strokes, heart attacks, in addition to other factors, right, has been increasing for the last 50 years in the Western world, right? Obviously, there's other reason, but together, right, together, the increased omega-6 in our diet compared to not enough omega-3 is another contributing factor to the increased risk of dementia, increased risk of stroke, increased risk of heart failure, heart attack, blah, blah, blah. And of course, chronic inflammation, right? Huge millions of people around the world suffer from chronic inflammation. And that chronic inflammation, one of the major contributors to this chronic inflammation is the excess dietary intake of omega-6 and not enough omega-3. And as I said, we eat 20 times more omega-6 than omega-3. Normally it should be 1:1. We should eat as much omega-3 than we eat omega-6 so that we stay away from this pro-inflammatory effect of this omega-6 that we need. We need omega-6 and we need omega-3, but we need not too much omega-6, right? Compared to omega-3, we need to eat as much so that the anti-inflammatory effect of the omega-3 can counteract the pro-inflammatory effect of the omega-6. And again, you don't have to throw them away as the one that you have in your kitchen, but put them in a little corner, those corn oil and sunflower oil that you have. Use them a tiny bit, right? And after you're done, don't buy it anymore. Because there's so many other oils, like walnut oil, olive oil, and canola oil, that you can buy that have the same health benefits, antioxidants, nutrients, vitamins, blah, 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 minerals and everything that you find in corn oil and sunflower oil, but with a better ratio of omega-6 and omega-3, right? And this is why I started many years ago to buy walnut oil. I'm not advertising the brand. This is 1 gallon of freaking healthy, super healthy walnut oil, right? And same thing for olive oil and canola oil. The ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 is extremely close to 1:1, right? So they not only bring you all the health benefits that you can get from the minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, and blah, blah, blah that you find in corn oil and sunflower oil, but in addition, they have a ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 that is extremely close to 1. For example, canola oil has a ratio omega-6, omega-3 that is equals to 2. Look how close you are to 1 to 1, 2, right? It's amazing. Walnut oil, this beautiful walnut oil. I'm not advertising any brand, but you can buy this everywhere online. I bought this on Amazon. You can find it on Walmart website, everywhere, everywhere. It's a huge gallon. My God, I drink a ton of this every day. And I alternate with olive oil, right? Olive oil and canola oil. I alternate the three of them, right? Walnut oil has a ratio that is about 4 to 5. Look how close you are to 1, right? Whereas corn oil and sunflower oil have a ratio of about 50 to 70. 50 to 70 times more omega-6 you are there on the roof compared to omega-3. So even though they are healthy, they have a healthy amount of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, they are bad for you over the long term because of this massive amount of pro-inflammatory omega-6 that you take in your diet. Remember, ideally 1 to 1. So you need to drink oils, and use it for your cooking, your salad, your drinking like me, right? That have a ratio that is very close to 1 to 1, right? Canola oil is 2 to 1. Walnut oil is 5 to 1. Olive oil is 7 to 8 to 1, 7 to 1. So they are extremely close compared to the 50 to 70, right? For corn oil and sunflower oil. That's why I completely removed these two oils, corn oil and sunflower oil, many years, probably 10 years ago from my diet. And I have completely replaced them with canola oil, olive oil, and walnut oil. Canola oil is more affordable, cheaper than walnut oil and olive oil, right? But if you can buy the three of them, walnut oil and olive oil are a little bit more, way more expensive, I would say, not a little bit, way more expensive than canola oil. But ideally, buy the three oil like me, like Dr. B, walnut oil, olive oil, and canola oil, and alternate the three during the day, right? I alternate them and use them for your cooking. Now make sure that if you use them for your cooking, ideally you don't want to use walnut oil for cooking. Use walnut oil after you have cooked and then put it on your food. You don't want to heat too much walnut oil. Same thing for olive oil. Now there are some olive oils that are made for salads, dressings, and some olive oil that are made for cooking. So if you want a cooking oil, use canola oil and olive oil that has been made for cooking, and use walnut oil, canola oil, and olive oil for your salads and dressing. Canola oil, you can use it for salad dressings. Olive oil, if you want to use it for salad and dressing and drinking like me, you can use it too. Walnut oil is the best for salad and dressings and everything, drinking and everything, but don't use it for cooking. It's super healthy, and it will bring you almost as much omega-3 than you have omega-6. And therefore, that's why every year, twice a year, when I do my blood test to check for inflammation, chronic inflammation, we call that chronic inflammation panel blood test. I posted a video. I do that twice a year together with my diabetes, my sugar, my triglyceride, my cholesterol, blah, 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 right? Twice a year, every 6 months, I do a blood test to check my serum analytes, my liver function test, and my kidney function test, cholesterol, triglyceride, blah, blah, blah. And I also do that inflammatory panel. I posted a video about that. Ask your doctor, make sure you do that, because chronic inflammation is the silent, invisible killer. I posted a video about chronic inflammation. Means your entire body, your entire blood vessel, all your organs are undergoing slow but steady destruction by chronic inflammation. And among many causes, one of the major contributors to this chronic inflammation that causes heart attack, stroke, Alzheimer's, cancers, how can I forget cancers caused by chronic inflammation, cancers, blah, blah, and of course early aging, right? You want to age slowly, right? It is the excess consumption of omega-6 compared to omega-3. As I said, in a Western diet, people eat 20 times more than they eat omega-3, right? My ratio, if I were to look at it in my diet, is about 2, 3, maybe 4 to 1, whereas the typical Western diet is at 20 to 1. People eat 20 times more omega-6 and then they complain, how come they're aging badly? How come they're always tired? How come their blood test for chronic inflammation, right, came back positive? Guys, please look at my the video I posted about chronic inflammation and make sure that your doctor includes it in your regular blood test. It is called the chronic inflammation panel blood test or chronic inflammation blood test. Your doctor knows, but you need to ask her, you need to make sure that you take care of yourself. Don't entrust your doctor, your family doctor, for your entire health. Be vigilant. Grab the bull by the horn. Become your own healthcare advocate, right? Advocate for your own healthcare. Your doctor is too busy making money. He doesn't have the time to take care of you personally and spend half an hour in the exam room with you. He's going to treat you like a money-making machine, quickly in and out, going checking other patients. He wants to see a ton of patients every day, 30, 40, 35, 25 patients in a day so that he can make a ton of money. So he doesn't have the time to spend a lot of time with you. So you need to come forward and ask your doctor about, what about this, doctor? What about that? Did you do this blood test? Can I do that blood test? What about this medication? What about that? Blah, blah, blah. Make sure you watch my videos, guys. I make medicine simple. I tell you easy ways to age gracefully, to stay away from cardiovascular disease, cancer, strokes, heart attack, heart failure, neurodegenerative diseases, Alzheimer's, dementia, and blah, blah, blah. And again, one of the major contributors to all these cancers and heart attacks and heart failures and strokes and early aging and dementias and blah, 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 is this chronic inflammation that is in the body of millions of people around the world and millions of Americans. A lot of them at slow level, but slow level and low level doesn't mean no inflammation. Some of them moderate inflammation, some of them carry severe inflammation. But it doesn't matter whether it's mild inflammation, moderate and severe, eventually it will destroy your body from within. And mild disease, remember that a mild disease doesn't mean no disease and no consequence, right? Even if it's mild, it's going to take more time to destroy you from within, just like mild high blood pressure, mild diabetes, mild elevation of your cholesterol. But eventually it will get to you and it will slowly destroy you and cause you dementia, heart failure, strokes, and blah, blah, blah. And of course, cancers, right? So remember, stop using that corn oil and sunflower oil and buy these 3 oils, walnuts, olive oil, and canola oil, and alternate them into your salads, into your dressings, into your cooking, into your food. I drink them just like this with a tea and coffee, no sugar, no nothing, right? Because it's not easy to drink like that 1 fluid ounce of olive oil 5 or 6 times per day, right? So I drink it like this, I pinch my nose, right? You do whatever you can, and then you drink that tea and beautiful coffee, and it goes down, and that's it, you're done. You get the healthy benefits of these magnificent oils for your body, full of vitamins, mineral, antioxidants, and of course a huge amount of healthy omega-6 and omega-3, but with a ratio close to 1:1. Guys, I love you. Dr. B went to medicine 30 plus years ago. I took the Hippocratic Oath, which is my promise to never ever lie to you, to never ever tell you BS, to never ever put my interest above yours. And I always swore that I will always tell you only what is the scientific evidence, the scientific proof. And I will never give you my opinion. I will only tell you the truth, the scientific truth, the scientific evidence, unlike all these quacks that I see online, every website who come up and claim some disgusting stuff that have absolutely no scientific backup. It's just to make money. They want to make money. They want to get clicks. They want to get subscribers and blah, blah, blah. But Dr. B is not here for that. Dr. B is here because he loves to teach. I love to teach you. I love medicine. I love people, regardless of your gender, ethnicity, race, color of your skin, politics, religion. I don't give a cat. So as long as you're a human being, I give you a big hug the same way I give a big hug to each and every one of my patients. Put your comments, your question, anything you want to ask. I promise I will get back to you as soon as I can in my freaking busy life, but I will get back to you. I love you guys. Hope to talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.